Hola, Senor Tyler. ¿Cómo estás?
I am doing well. It's a sunny, beautiful day, a little cold, but it's a nice winter day right now. How about you?
Actually, having a nice winter day as well. It is sunny. It is a high of 30 degrees today.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So it's just
Nice.
weird to actually see the sun and blue skies and not really any clouds right now.
Makes a world of difference. Makes a world of difference when you can have those days. Like, 'cause I mean, I don't know what it's like in Nashville, but like usually this time of year, it's yeah, overcast. It's been raining for like 2 weeks straight. The sun sets at like 4:30.
Yeah.
It gets a little depressing.
Yeah, it's usually like 4:30, 4:45 that like sun's going down. It's going from overcast, cloudy, gray skies to just dark, cloudy, gray skies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So it's
it's
nice.
it's definitely nice to actually get the sunlight because then especially we've got this like the back door in our dining room is like one of those full length glass doors with like the blinds inside. So what I love doing is that's the side where the sun comes through. You get that special time of the morning where you can just stand in front of the glass and you get that heat that just warms
Yeah,
you up to your core. It's like
yeah.
the best little simple pleasure.
Yeah, and you're doing the Andrew Huberman too. You're getting that sunlight in first thing in the morning. You are the picture of health. I
Right.
say that tongue in cheek.
I mean, hey, healthy, like it's a
Yeah.
spectrum, right? It's a spectrum. So not the first time in my life I've been told I'm possibly on a spectrum, won't be the last.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, so we are picking up today with part two of why New Year's resolutions fail. So, last episode, just kind of quick recap. People, number one point that we made was people rely on motivation instead of having systems in place. Number two, they try to change everything at one time instead of just one thing at a time. Number three is that people will have vague goals like I want to get in shape or I want to lose weight or I want to get healthy. None of those have any actual meaning behind them. They're not a measurable target. There's not clear definitions. I want to get healthier. Okay, well healthier could just be, hey, I lowered 1 point on my cholesterol. Did that
Yeah.
really change anything? Probably not.
Gosh.
Point number 4, people aim for perfection instead of consistency. And point number 5 was no real plan for real life. So if you've missed that episode, please go back and give that a listen and then hop back over here. And honestly, even if you gave it a listen and you want to just increase our listens, we're not against that either. Feel free.
Yeah.
It'd be greatly
Just
appreciated.
yeah, just put it on 3 times speed and away you go.
I know, like, put it on a loop. Maybe that's what we should request people to do. Hey, you should be sleeping with your phone in a different room anyways. Um, Play this podcast, turn
Plug
your
it yeah.
phone volume down, put it on a constant loop. And since these are only like 30 to 45-minute long episodes, if you looped that for 8 hours, which is what you should be sleeping, I mean, we'd get so many listens. It'd
I
be
like that.
phenomenal. We'd be like, the number 500,000 podcasts, like maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe. I don't want to get too
Maybe.
jealous.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just kind of pick this up. Again, we made a list of 10 here. So starting with number 6 is the reason why people's New Year's resolutions for their health and fitness goals will fail is because they try to just copy someone else's plan. And this is why I'm not a big fan of telling people what my macros are. I really prefer to not say what a specific client's macros are, even on like a before and after, because what worked for a friend, a fitness influencer, a celebrity, a pro athlete, somebody who's had a crazy before and after, what's worked for them was likely something that was tailored to them so that it fit their lifestyle, it fit their schedule, it also fit their goals. So whenever you see this person here, they did a bodybuilding show and mentioned, "Oh, I was doing 100 grams of carbs a day and 40 grams of fat. That's for that person and that's for their goal. Their goal was to hit an extreme, which
Yeah.
is bodybuilding. Their goal was to hit an extreme physique. They had to take extreme measures to get there, but then they're not walking around looking like that 365 days out of the year. Or you
Yeah.
see a celebrity like, oh, well, Hugh Jackman's workout is that he does this crazy workout and it takes him 2.5 hours to do. Stop and ask yourself, do you have 2.5 hours to work out 6 days a
Yeah.
week? 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. And like, I mean, they've got access to stuff that we never will, right? I mean, just think about the money that they have and the time that they have too, right? I think that obviously that's an important one of, yeah, you see all these guys getting ready for the Marvel movies or whatever and packing on, 40 pounds of muscle in 3 months. And it's like, yeah, that's probably not going to be realistic. I don't, the one that I always kind of come back to is, I don't know if you remember this fad, was the 300 workout, right?
Yes.
They're doing the weird bench press with legs in the air, and like I remember that like taking a big storm, for a lot of people, because I mean, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to look like some of those guys from 300? But yeah, and I was also come back to magazines. When we were
Mhm.
kind of coming up, that was a big thing, like the Flex magazine, and I remember always looking at like the meal plans, and these guys always had swordfish in their diet. And I'm like, who the fuck is eating swordfish? Like, I don't even know where to get that, right? Like, and that was always in their meal plans that they would put in the magazine, right? And so yeah, apart from like, yes, that's tailored to them. I also don't think a lot of these is just even close to being realistic for 99.9% of us.
And
So yeah, I think that's important to consider.
here's the other thing. So let's say you've got some fitness influencer on their Instagram or their TikTok and they're claiming, "I had these great results with this product." One, how do you actually know that they were taking it? Number two, what else were they doing? Because somebody, and I've seen this so many freaking times. Hey, I'm selling this supplement that's stupid expensive, and this is how I lost 25 pounds, or this is how I got on a bodybuilding stage, or this is how insert crazy result here. But the reality is that, well, that person was also doing a calorie deficit. Hey, maybe she was eating 1,500 calories a day, 1,400 calories a day. Maybe she was doing an hour of cardio a day, but you're just going to see the TikTok live or you're just going to see the Instagram reel of, I had this result to this result using this product. Click the link in my bio. Like, as soon as somebody says, click the link in my bio, this magic cocktail solution, pill, snake oil is the reason why X result happened to me and it can happen to you as long as you click that link in my signature and use my code at checkout. Come on.
Yeah.
That should immediately be a red flag. But the problem is that the fitness influencers and the fitness industry in general, they prey on people. You could see some dude that, man, he put on a bunch of muscle, he lost a bunch of body fat, he's walking around jacked and tan like we all want to be. Okay, well, it turns out he's taking a bunch of peptides and oh, he's also taking a bunch of anabolic steroids.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone is. I don't want this to come off as like a jealousy thing because it's easy to
You're not,
get jealous to just go, "Oh, well, you're on gear." But a lot of times what people don't show from behind the scenes is a big part of their success. Like, it's so easy to get a GLP-1. Literally
yeah.
go on any website that sells peptides and congratulations, that's it. Spend 5 minutes on YouTube, 5 minutes on Reddit, you'll know how to mix it. Like, so many people are hiding the fact that they're on those, but they're just trying to say, "Well, my workout program that I sell, or this bullshit supplement that I happen to also sell, or here's this multi-level marketing pyramid scheme that I'm a part of, and this
Yeah.
product is what got me these results." They're after your money, they're not after you actually having an improved life.
Yeah, yeah, especially now with the advent of like the GLP-1s. I mean, the hardest thing about bodybuilding is the hunger. Like that, it really is. It's just fighting through that. And so, I'm sure it's already running rampant in the bodybuilding circles, because if you can get rid of the hardest thing to get through to get shredded. I mean, they're already taking crazy amounts of steroids to get massive, right? And so now you add in that GLP-1, which I don't 100% know, but I would assume you cannot test for. Like, how, like, you're gonna take a piss test and know that someone's on it, like, so it's natural, right? Like, you maybe start to see it even in, like, natural bodybuilding circles too, and so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you have to kinda be you gotta be really careful with kind of who you're, listening to, right? And what they're, like you said, what they're selling, right? And I think you brought up a great point of, like, if you're seeing, hey, click that link, automatic red flag. Okay, like, what are they trying to sell me? I mean, the funniest ones I always see too is like these, athletic, lean looking guys, and they're selling like a body weight or a dumbbell workout. And like, this is how I got super jacked. I'm like, probably not.
Don't get me wrong. If you're leaning more towards calisthenics, yes, you will get a great workout in. It's great for your joints. It's great to get some movement in. At some point, volume is king and ultimately body is technically considered resistance. But you mean to tell me you've got a 51-inch chest, you're shredded with six-pack abs, you've got a Christmas tree for a back, and you
Yeah,
did that without touching a single weight?
yeah, not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. If you're believing that, then you're probably also the same person who thought that Liver King was natural.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Man, it's me. I watched his documentary. That guy is missing a few screws. Like, it was crazy.
like I've not watched it, but I wonder, do they like dive into what his childhood was like? Is there like some childhood trauma or
For sure, there was some childhood trauma, like, for sure, but, like him, his wife, like, and his kids, they're all like they're just a little cuckoo, right? Like, it's kind of a whole thing. And there were some things like I thought were great, like he does, what he has a big garden and all of these types of things, and but yeah, it's a little, it's wild. It's an interesting study in psychology.
okay, I'm gonna have to give that a go. We just finished
Like,
the Diddy documentary last week,
oh,
so
yeah, that was an interesting one too. But not to
just
divulge or
no, all
get
good, man. Just to kind of wrap this point up is like the one size fits all programs, I will say I don't think that they're inherently bad as long as the person designing them actually knows what they're doing. But
yeah,
to get back to this point of copying someone else's plan, like if you are trying someone else's workout plan and it's not working for you, if it's just a one time plan or it's a general one size fits all plan, like modify it to fit you. And that fixes this part of this problem, right? Is you're just trying to copy something that you're a round peg trying to fit in a square hole or vice versa. But also, if you are working with a coach and they are not modifying your training program based off of your feedback of either like, hey, this workout's too long, or I can't comfortably do this movement, or well, my gym doesn't have this piece of equipment, you should get a new coach. The next the next point that we had written down was that people don't track anything. I'm gonna let you lead off on this one.
yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things where it can seem like a lot of work, especially as you get into it. And I think I've said this before in a earlier podcast, is it is a steep learning curve if you've never done it before, but it's a quick steep learning curve. Like, really, if you kind of dive into it, 2 to 4 weeks, really. And not to say that you're going to be a master of it, but you're going to get like 80% of it, right? Like, if you're kind of working with a coach, you're having some of that feedback, and you're working through it, like, it doesn't take very long to get somewhat comfortable with it and learn some of the intricacies and like the ins and outs of it. But it has to be there. I know intuitive eating is kind of a big thing and people just want to do that, but I'm still going to be a big believer in that we need this foundation of to know what like actually is in food and what does that actually look like. I don't think you can necessarily gain an intuitive skill to a level that would actually be useful if you don't go through like a tracking process. And learning a lot of those foundational tools. So if you want to change your body composition, whether it's building muscle or losing body fat, you just have to know how much you're eating. Like I always equate it to like, why wouldn't fly a plane without a navigation system, right? Well,
Mhm.
it's kind of the same thing with like tracking your food intake. And that is your navigation system. Again, like even the research showing like when it comes to like people trying to do like a food diary, the general population will underestimate by 800 calories on average, right? So they're actually eating 800 calories more than they actually think. Registered dietitians, 500. And those are people who are registered dietitians, right? And so even if you're like, oh, no, like I eat healthy, right? Like that's always the one I hear. Like I eat healthy, I eat good food. Well, guess what? If you still know how much, you could still be overeating by 5 to 800 calories a day on average. If we just subtracted that initially, and we actually then establish how much food we're consuming, man, if we're eating 500 calories less a day just by doing that, well, you're probably going to lose a little bit of body fat right away. And we're still kind of eating what you think is, hey, I'm actually eating a decent amount of food.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, real quick, my screen is paused. Can you
Yeah,
still hear me?
I can hear you, but yeah, you are frozen on the video.
Okay, okay. So I always want people to understand, like you said, yes, it feels like it's a steep curve to learn this skill set of how to weigh and log your food. But like you said, it's a very
Oh,
fast one.
looks like
And
we
especially if you
lost
set yourself
Phil.
up for success and make it
I'm
as
sure
easy as
we'll
possible
get him back up here
early.
soon. So just a little quick pause until he's back. And we're back.
All right, little technical difficulty there. I will do my best with the editor here. Tyler, what was the last part that you could hear me?
Just like talking to clients about why we should learn how to track and why that's important.
Yeah. So again, if I'm repeating some stuff here, I'm human. Technical difficulties. So if someone is not tracking their food, right? Then how are they supposed to know what their calories are at? So now it's like, hey, if you're not losing weight, if you're not moving towards your goal, it could very well be that you were eating way more calories than what you thought you were. At the same time, if you're not tracking your steps, hey, you could have a week where you're getting like 10,000 steps as an average. And then next week comes along, it's a little bit colder. You're just not thinking about it. If you're not tracking it, you could easily be at 2 or 3,000 steps a day. And it's like, hey, that's a big drop off in energy expenditure. You're talking about a massive reduction of, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80% reduction in steps from one week to the next. Now, if you're also not tracking your workouts, it's very easy to miss that you're getting stronger. And if you're only gauging your progress based off the scale, I mean, you're bound to fail. I'll say that. If the only measurable metric you care about in your health and fitness journey is the scale, you are going to fail. You are going to spin your wheels perpetually. You're going to have a history of yo-yo dieting. You will not ultimately accomplish your goal if all you care about is the damn scale. But if you go, well, I am getting stronger. And the benefit of me being stronger is that I get through my day to day life better. I have less injury risk. I happen to look better with more muscle on me. Like, take someone and chop 15 pounds of muscle off of them, just gone. They're going to objectively look worse. Or you
Yeah.
take someone and you add 10 pounds of muscle, keep body fat the exact same, but they just have more muscle, they're still going to look better. Everyone looks better with more muscle. You're healthier with more muscle to a reasonable extent. I'm not talking about, Ronnie Coleman level muscle, but
Yeah.
if you're able to also see, hey, I got stronger this week, I hit some PRs, and you're also tracking other things like, hey, my waist measurement came down by a half an inch. Well, now you're tracking multiple different areas for wins, for victories, and it's easy to see, hey, the scale maybe didn't move this week, but I got stronger. Or, hey, the scale didn't move this week, but I happened to drop a half inch off of my waist. So if you're tracking stuff, you're giving yourself or your coach data, and now you're not just guessing. And
Yeah.
now you know what works and what doesn't work. And that's ultimately what this is all about is learning what works for you, for your lifestyle, for your day to day.
Yeah. And like, I mean, you can start to see trends too. And I think like objectively that makes things a lot easier, right? Like I don't think there's any data to back this up, but what I've noticed, over the 10 years of coaching is when someone's in a fat loss phase, roughly on average, every third week, we should notice some type of drop on the waist. Now, certainly some people, we're seeing it on a weekly basis, but like that's what I've noticed on average is every third week there is a quarter of an inch or half an inch or something like that. Right. And so I then can come back as a coach and maybe you're frustrated, but it's like, hey, you know what? This is what I typically notice. We can now start to kind of have that and again, like detach some of that emotion from the scale, from the waist measurements, what have you, because we are tracking this data and we can start to see those trends, right? How many times I'm sure you've gone through it. It's like, yeah, it just feels like I'm not going anywhere. I can pull up the last 2 months and yeah, it's maybe done this, but if we just drew a nice straight line, look at that. Like we've lost 7 pounds over 8 weeks, we're still at right around, three-quarters of a pound a week. And you've had 3 times where you overate. You know what? It's pretty fucking good. We're moving in the right direction. And it's like, oh, okay. Like I can take that step back, see it from more of a 10,000 foot view, and we kind of talked about motivation, in the first series or first episode of the kind of this little mini series. And it's like, okay, now I'm motivated again, right? And it kind of can help push things along so that we just don't now go, oh, it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything. We fall off if we weren't maybe necessarily tracking all of this data.
Yeah. And then that's another great thing that you kind of led into here is an all or nothing mentality of like, hey, if you're getting frustrated at the scale, that's the only form of progress that you really give a rip about. You're losing out on other things. Or, you're also probably someone that is very black and white, like, hey, I'm either 100% in on this or I'm 0% in. And as soon as the scale stops moving, then I'm out. I'm done. It's like the episode of Friends or Seinfeld, the bet. I'm out.
Yeah.
So, like, if you are someone that hey, I messed up today, so I'll start tomorrow, or I messed up on Thursday, so screw it. I'm gonna just enjoy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll restart on Monday. Like that mindset is what turns mistakes into full on derailments off the
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you can kind of marry this all or nothing mindset also with like people waiting for the right moment and the right time to start. And it's like like as soon as life starts like getting a little bit busier, it's like, okay, well, I've got this going, I've got that, I've got to stop coaching. And it's like, well, no, this is actually probably when you need a coach the most to help you work through this little extra busier time. And I've said it before, and I will beat on this drum until my dying breath is like life doesn't care that you want to look a little bit better. There's always going to be something coming up. It's always going to be busy. It's never really the right time to want to drop 10 pounds. I mean, certainly you can maybe find little pockets throughout the year where it's like, okay, you know what? Like things are just a little bit quieter right now, and this might be a little bit better of a time. But what about the other 80% of the time? And we're not going to want to be perpetually dieting year round, yo yo. Like most of your time is going to just be spent at a maintenance level and having just a healthy lifestyle, right? And your dieting is going to be just small little pockets of time year to year, every other year, etc. And so I think both of those kind of go hand in hand of just like, yeah, then I mean that's why we teach the skill of tracking and weighing out your food because there you aren't going to be able to weigh and track, nor should you weigh and track your food all of the time, right? And so it's going to be there is no good time other than just hey, let's just do it now. Let's equip you with the skills that are going to allow you to just lose some weight, get a little stronger, be a little healthier, and still and be able to enjoy your life, right? Like myself, for example, my January, it's just a little bit quieter. I'm already looking, to February. I've already got about 2 or 3 weekends that I know that there's some bigger events. So you know what? I'm taking advantage of the first kind of 6 weeks of the year, doing a little bit of dieting, and then probably most of February is gonna be just a little bit of a diet break. And even for myself, it's trying to stay within that mindset of, "Okay, like, I'm not gonna let things go crazy." Obviously, I don't wanna gain the weight back, but I've got my birthday, I've got a friend's 40th birthday coming up. I know that I'm gonna wanna drink, I wanna eat some good food. So I'm going, okay, you know what? We're just gonna do a little diet break. And if it's 3 weeks, it's 3 weeks. That's just what it is. And that's just how I'm trying to push even myself and grow a little bit better within this healthy lifestyle, right? And change my mindset. And so it's kind of just even a real world example of, okay, like, yeah, it sucks. Maybe I'm not going to lose a lot of weight for 3 weeks, but I prefer to enjoy life a little bit more. And so I'm just gonna, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But then the challenge to myself is don't let it get off the rails like it maybe has in the past.
Yeah. And that's that's such a great point of recognize what's coming up in your life and really ask yourself, like, is this something that is this something I can push through and stay in accordance with my goal? That's question number one. Is it possible? Now, just because something is possible doesn't mean that's something that you necessarily want to do. So then I think that helps to better put people's goals in check with the bigger picture of life, right? So I work with one of my clients, been with me for a long time now, and she's a CPA. Now, like most people, kind of, hey, if you're with me for more than like a year, year and a half, 2 years, we tend to go through cycles. Most of the time, I try to get everybody to kind of sync up once they're more than about a year and a half in, at least. I try to get everybody to sync up to this, in my opinion, ideal seasonal calendar of, hey, beginning of the year, oftentimes motivation is super high for your health and fitness goals, and the people around you have a lot of motivation. And especially if you've been working with a coach for year, 2 years, people know, hey, you're serious about your health and fitness stuff now. You've seen results. They've seen you see the results. So a lot of times it's just the greatest aspect of the year. It's the greatest time of the year to do a fat loss phase. So generally speaking, I want most people doing a fat loss phase early in the year, the first 12 to 16 weeks. Yeah, let's diet. While everyone's motivation is high to start the year, get your dieting habits in check. So that way, now by the time people quit come February, you're still cruising along. Or if somebody is with you on this journey, now you've had 4 weeks to build your habits together, and now they have you as accountability. Awesome, fantastic stuff, right? Well, then usually around like spring, like April, May, I like to reverse diet to someone's new maintenance level. Hey,
Yeah.
you cut. Now we're going to build your calories up, find your new maintenance level because you have less body fat, you possibly have more muscle. Let's just kind of see where's your new maintenance because it wasn't what it was January 1st.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's maintain for June, July, August, and after Labor Day weekend, let's go into a building and metabolic building phase. Okay, let's try to put on a little bit of muscle. Let's try to keep body fat at bay within a reasonable amount because, spoiler alert, you're going to gain some body fat in a fat muscle growth phase. And then ideally, you're repeating that cycle. So you go through these phases. Well, one of my clients, she's a CPA. Do you want to know her most stressful time of the year?
It's
One.
tax season.
Yep.
Yeah.
From about middle of January until April 15th. That is her most stressful time of the year. I would be the world's most evilest coach if I said, hey, your cutting phase is going to start in January and we're going to take away calories and we're going to make you have to be super diligent. There's no untracked meals at all. I would be an absolute jerk. I would be a fool. So I love that you bring up, hey, whenever things get hard, that's often the best time to be working with the coach because now that's a real reflection of life. And you've gone through that hard season. You're probably going to go through a similar hard season at some other point. So when's the point where you're going to say, "Hey, I know I need help getting through this sort of thing because me doing it my way doesn't work.
Yeah.
I need some actual help." And then this brings me to point number 9 out of 10 for us is no accountability. Most people, it's easy to just kind of quit on your goal because a lot of people will just keep their goal internalized. They don't say it to those around them because they're also a little fear of failure. You don't want people to go, haha, it's January. You're saying you're going to lose weight this year, just like you have for the last 10 years. I get why people will maybe not vocalize what their goals are whenever their goal is to lose weight. I get it because it puts pressure on you. Because then what if you don't succeed? But whenever you now have someone else that you're accountable for, maybe it's a personal trainer, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's just a gym buddy, like, hey, we both said we were going to do this. I know it's important to you to get healthy. It's important to me to get healthier. Let's get a membership at the same gym. We're going to work out together twice during the week, 5:30. And we're going to meet up Saturday mornings. We're going to get 3 workouts in per week. That's our agreement. You're now accountable to each other. Whenever somebody has accountability, they have a reason to keep going when things get hard. I can't tell you how many times back whenever I was a personal trainer, people would say, you know, I really didn't feel like working out today. I didn't feel like even showing up, but hey, I've paid you. I'm here. If I give you less than 24 hours notice, still charge, which
Yeah.
that's also fair in the industry. It's like, hey, you had that layer of accountability, whether the accountability was literally me as your trainer or as your coach, or that accountability was more monetary of, well, dang, I paid for this and I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So I might as well use it. But whenever you
Yeah.
have some type of external accountability and someone else holding you accountable, you're going to have a much higher success rate than someone who doesn't. So if I had to just frame something, okay, kind of tie these last three together, I have two people. Let's say I have two twins. They're both 100 pounds overweight. Twin A just says, "Hey, I want to lose weight this year." That's it. That's all that their plan is. It stops there. Twin B says, "Okay, I want to lose weight this year. I'm going to track my food. I'm going to plan my food. I am also going to make sure that I am working out. I'm going to make sure I'm getting stronger. I am going to make sure that I am working with a personal trainer once a week or I hire an online coach." If you take both of those people and I said, "Hey, $10 million on the line.
Yeah.
One of these two people is going to actually accomplish their goal. You have to just bet on which one it's going to be." There isn't a person in the world that would pick twin A. And you'd be a fool if you did. You would be just absolutely stupid. But we can all agree that twin B is the one that has a plan, has accountability. They're tracking what they're doing. They're measuring their progress. They're seeing their trends. They're able to now, because they have data, adjust, or their coach is able to adjust. That's the person I think everyone can agree is the one who's going to accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
So if in this hypothetical, you would bet on twin B, but you're doing the actions of twin A, reality check time. You're not going
Yeah.
to accomplish your goals. Be twin B.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you hear, "Well, I know what to do. I just don't do it." Right? Like, and I mean, that is, that's part of our job is like we're accountability for all of this, right? And so it's just like any other goal that one might have outside of even fitness, having someone that you can kind of help keep you in check. That is always going to be help. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah. And then I think the final one here is it's possibly like the number one thing, right? Is that people expect fast results and we're conditioned to it. You go to the grocery store, you go to checkout, you got the magazine, oh, lose 10 pounds in 10 days, lose 20 pounds in 20 days, so and so dropped 40 pounds in a month. we're seeing all of this and expecting that, okay, well, if they did that in a month, then in a week, I should be able to do X percentage of that. So and so dropped 40 pounds in a month. So that would be about 10 pounds a week. If by the end of week one, I don't lose 10 pounds, then this doesn't work. This sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I even come at it from, like, you don't want to do that, right? Like, you don't like, that's not good, like, that's not healthy, right? Like, on average, if we're, like, looking at a fat loss, it should be 3/4 of a pound to 1.5 pounds a week, right? Like, that's, maybe you could say 2 pounds, I think that's pretty rare for someone to, on average, drop 2 pounds a week unless they're fairly obese, but then the relative percentages kind of equal,
Exactly.
right?
That's where now that relative
So
percentage of a half to 1%
yeah, yeah.
kind of
So
covers. Because then it's also the
yeah,
same for someone who maybe they are a little bit smaller frame. So like, hey, if you're a female who's 4'10", like a healthy body weight for you might be like 110 pounds. Well, if you're like 130 pounds, well, 1% of that would be 1.3 pounds. Okay. Half of that would be zero point 0.6 pounds. So
so even there's like a good rate of fat loss, and people are always maybe a little surprised, but I'm like, I look at 3-week trends, really. Like, I don't. I mean, yes, I think the day to day and the week to week is important, but it really helps us paint an actual picture of your trends when we look at it from a 3 to 4 week block, essentially, of like, okay, well, maybe you lost whatever half a pound week one, week two, but then weeks two and or 3 and 4, you dropped 1 pound. All right, awesome. Like, that's something that we're going to continue to do and continue to have success with. Like, remember, like, we're looking for an overall level of consistency and weight we can keep off. Like, the more rapid you lose it, the more rapidly you're probably going to put it back on, because what you were doing is unsustainable. I mean, you've probably lost some muscle, your hunger's going, like, you're just setting yourself up to be in that 80%, that 50%, right? And we're trying to get in that 20% of, like, hey, it's been 2 years and I have kept that weight off, right? And so, yeah, you don't want to be losing weight that quickly. It's not good. It's not sustainable. You're losing muscle. You're gonna look worse. You're gonna feel like shit. And so, yeah, it sucks when it's like feels slow, and you're doing all the work and you wake up on the morning and you're weighing, you're like, I am the exact same weight for the last 4 days. Like, that is frustrating.
it
I get
is.
it. Like, I had that like early last week where I woke up and I'm hungry, but I'm doing it. Like, I hit my food, and it was like the exact same weight for 3 days in a row. It's just like, oh my God, come on. Like, just please drop, right? But of course, after that, boom, 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 right? And if fat loss is a funny thing where it's like, yeah, you don't maybe see anything for like 3, 4 days, and then all of a sudden just kind of takes off a little bit. And
The whoosh.
yeah, not getting caught up in that fast results is huge, because if you do, it's gonna be hard to just kind of keep going. And so you really have to be like okay with, all right, like, just 1 pound a week, 1 pound a week. And I mean, you extrapolate that, let's say 10, 12 weeks of dieting, 10, 12 pounds on a lot of people, that's gonna make a pretty damn big difference in how they look, right?
Absolutely.
And so there is just a small level of patience needed for sure.
Yeah. So here's the thing, the slow, steady approach for almost everything in life is usually the right one to take. So, why is it that we don't have that same mentality whenever it comes to our health and fitness goals? Like a half a pound per week. I know that that doesn't sound sexy at all, but if somebody lost a half a pound a week for a full year, that's 26 pounds. Find me one person that if they lost 26 pounds from January 1 to December 31st, that they don't look different. Find me one person that you would go, "Oh, I didn't notice that." Everyone would notice like, "Hey, yeah, you're looking a little bit more fit. You're looking a little bit healthier. You you're looking more muscular, you're looking leaner, whatever compliment it is, people are going to notice it. So 2 to 3 weeks, if you air quotes only lose 2 pounds in 3 weeks, you're still actually moving at a pretty darn good pace. And if you just keep it up, and this is why we say consistency, consistency, consistency so much, is because the people that have that long-term success, they're the ones that push through, that they're able to find the systems to create consistency so that they get the results and then they maintain the results and they aren't the people who fall victim to the regain.
Yeah. Yeah, I had something to say, and now it left me. And I was gonna tying it back just to kinda in everything, I think, yeah, that all or nothing mindset, all of those things that we did talk about, it's being okay with that slow burn. And I mean, even if you, let's say, instead of a full year, take 2 12-week dieting phases, right? 6 weeks or whatever, or not 6 weeks, 6 months. And then the other 6 months, you're in a bit of a maintenance building phase. It's gonna probably look like you lost more than 24 pounds too, right? You start to add a little bit of muscle. You're just always gonna look leaner, right? Like
Hmm.
that's been with me the whole time. Like every time I've gone through a prep or a dieting phase, sure, my weight might get back up to 210, 215, but it's the leanest 210, 215 I've ever looked. I've still got, I have certain markers that I know, like for example, on my left arm, once that vein starts to come in, I know I'm starting to reach a certain level of leanness, right? It's funny how you notice some of those things. Well, guess what? I've hit certain points of leanness where that's never gone away now. Even when I'm hitting higher weights of 210, 215, I'm still much leaner than I have been in the past, right? And so you're always going to look better in the long run taking that slower approach.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, look, accomplishing your New Year's resolution, it is hard. If it was easy, everyone would accomplish their New Year's resolution, whether that is, hey, I want to lose 25 pounds this year, or hey, I want to bench press a 1975 Cadillac for reps, or I want to learn to play guitar. I want to learn how to sing. I want to learn how to go invisible, like in Harry Potter. Like, whatever your New Year's resolution is, it's hard. It's hard to stick to something for a year, but if you've just listened to these 2 podcasts, I hope that you get some things out of here that you're able to implement. You're able to maybe spot some shortfalls or some gaps in your plan that you're going to improve your likelihood of being successful. So, with that being said, it is time for blind rank. And I am super stoked on today's. So, Tyler and I both grew up with the original release of Pokemon.
Yeah.
My kids are huge into it now. Have you guys
Quit
have
a
you shown
little.
okay.
Like she's she's watched she's watched it like the original TV show
Mhm.
a couple of times, but hasn't like she's seen my cards, but like hasn't really
Stunk
stuck at
in.
this point. Yeah.
I will say, so they have a new series called Horizons. That's like the current one. It's on Netflix. That's what really hooked Ellie in, like, big time. Jesse, I got with the original series. But today we are going to blind rank from the original 151 Pokemon. So if you're not into it, hey, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Head over to fitbodinstitute.com for your 30-minute metabolic assessment. But if you'd like to stick around for some tomfoolery, here we go. Chat GPT spitting them out in random order. We're going to blind rank 1 through 5, and the first one up is Snorlax.
Snorlax. I'm gonna go 5 with that one.
Really? Because hear me.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 because his main attack would always put him to sleep. Yes, it dealt a lot of damage, but then like you gotta hopefully get through because it puts him to sleep.
but whenever he goes to sleep, he recovers energy.
That is true. It's a pain in the ass to fight.
He can learn Headbutt. He can learn Solar Beam. He can learn Thunder. He can learn Hyper Beam. Like, it's a lot of really powerful moves, and he's got a high attack, high defense. For me, the negative is his speed. So it's like
Yeah. You're never
Okay,
going first.
yeah. So I'm also taking a mine out of 151. Like we could get Weedle, Venonat, like Caterpie
Yeah,
next, Magikarp, and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
damn,
okay,
there's some bad ones out of 151.
yeah. You've convinced me, I will go 3.
I'm exactly. I'm going three. So next up, Chat GPT. Ooh, Alakazam.
Man, that's very powerful, and, like, you could and he was always gonna be or it was always gonna be in my party for, like, the final 4 because you needed that technically against, I can't remember, but she always had, like, the ghosts one, right? Like,
Agatha.
Ghastly, Gengar yeah. So, very, very like, always hard to catch the Abra because of teleport, so you had to, like, hopefully either get it to sleep or you had, like, a great ball or something to, like, get it right away early on, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna go 2 just to leave room for fun, just in case, but definitely like a 1A, 1B situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. Alakazam, like super strong attacker,
I
good
mean,
speed.
like
It's
fusion,
kind of
like yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Like he gets the super long mustache, so like plus
yeah.
cool points. So yeah, I'm gonna
Try
go
like I'm trying to remember though, like it didn't evolve into Alakazam until like 55, I think. So you gotta grind a little bit to get it there.
in the games you had that was one of the ones I evolved from trade. Was
That's right.
yep. So
Yeah,
you had to take your Kadabra and trade it to someone, and then they had to trade it back to you.
yeah,
Same thing with Machoke to Machamp. Same
yeah,
thing with Graveler to Golem. I think
yeah.
there might have
That's
been
so
another
weird. Like you had to trade back then to get like those evolutions. That's nuts. I remember
Haunter
that.
to Gengar. That was the
Yeah.
other one. Haunter to Gengar. That was the fourth one. All right, number three, Rapidash.
I'm gonna go 4. I don't think something I because that was pretty late in game that you would get like a Onita to get into a rapid like Cinnabar Island, I think was kind of like where you would get it. So I don't think I ever really used it a whole lot because usually I would go Charmander as my starter, so I get the Charizard.
Yep.
So I'll go 4.
I'm gonna go four as well. Like again, I'm banking on like at some point it's gonna spit out Magikarp or something.
Yeah. But man, like Gyarados though, like if you could grind that Magikarp to like level 25,
Oh,
yeah,
I always
yeah,
did. Like that little Pokemon Center outside of Mount Moon, I would always get
yeah,
the Magikarp so that I could put them in my party and I would just put them
yeah,
first, swap them out as soon as like
yeah,
I'm in a battle.
yeah.
'Cause
Because as
that
soon
was
as
my
you,
goal.
yeah, cool. I mean, as soon as you, I'd always try and catch a bunch in the beginning too, because then you would get the experience, like XP thing, where like, you could attach it then to a Pokemon on your bench, and they would get experience like
Yeah,
without even
yeah.
having to battle. And it's early on. It's like as you're trying to get into like Celadon City or something. So if you can catch that 50 pretty quick and get that, that would then like speed up some of that grinding.
Oh, that's a good strat. I never used that. So yeah, I'm gonna go four as well, because by the time you get it, there's not really much use for a fire type.
You've got probably a pretty strong team by that point.
Yeah. Ooh. Next up is Lapras. Man.
Yeah, I would I mean, I'm pretty sure I love using it for surf,
Mhm.
right? And then I'm pretty sure too, like it does get some like you can get like ice
Ice
beam or
Beam,
something,
Blizzard.
right?
You can also use Strength, which is a strong move, plus it's
Uh,
cool in game.
yeah, I, it's not enough for me to put it at 1, so I'm gonna put it at 5 and hope like Metapod isn't next.
Tell you what, just so we get some differences, I'm gonna put it one, and we'll
Okay.
see what my five is and what your one is. Man, Hypno.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I mean, I don't know if I would, out of the 151, put that as 1. Like, I would almost move Alakazam into 1 and Hypno down into 2 at that point, but it's still not a bad choice either. Like, you could easily switch out Alakazam or Hypno in your team, and it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I think that if I had to redo mine, so I ended up Lapras, Alakazam, Snorlax, Rapidash, Hypno. I think that if I were to just now have this list in front of me and actually rank it, I think I would go Alakazam number one. I think I would go Hypno number 2 because also the Psychic type was just so overpowered in the
Yeah.
Gen 1 games.
Yeah, and you get, like, sleep with it, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd go Lapras 3
Yeah.
just because ice is pretty strong. If and in Gen 1, if you freeze, they don't thaw out. So it's like, hey, that's a cool thing. Plus, it knows Surf is like a base 90 attack. Strength is like a base 90 attack. So, like, my Lapras would always be Surf, Strength, Ice Beam, Blizzard. Like, boom. And if you wanted to, you get the move Sing and put your opponent to sleep. That was always a bit of a jerk move to pull off. And then yeah, Snorlax, Rapidash would go number 5. So
Yeah.
this
That
was
would
I
be yeah.
like this one. I like this one.
Yeah, that was fine. It was a little blast from the past. I like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you all very much for listening. I do apologize for the technical difficulties on my end. That's what she said. And until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.
See ya.